in the formation lap. And then we got 31 laps of Singapore, which is going to take probably about 1 hour.
Limmy?
Yep.
Doesn't Singapore look really strange during the day?
It does.
I've just started my stream too, so hello everyone. Sorry to interrupt Limmy, just so we're up to date for both streams. Welcome to Singapore. Limmy will take it away as he was doing on his stream, but I just wanted to bring us both up to date and make sure that both streams were in line. So apologies for interrupting, Limit. Crack on, mate.
Yeah, we are expecting about an hour worth of racing. We've not been told of any weather changes, so we normally, what I've learned from the commentary is that if it is raining, you get told. Let's go on board with on a fast lap with somebody. Let's find someone. Who's that Mercedes at the back? Lewis is at the back, and let's go on a lap of Singapore with him. He's got the most corners out of any track. It's on par with Vietnam next year, but this year it's got the most, 23 of them. We're going to go through the lap. That'll bring Hedge up to date as well, hopefully. On some of the main corners that we're going to have some incidents in tonight. It's down to turn 1. So tricky, this one. It's going to be an absolute nightmare when the lights go out, and then straight into 3 and quick out to 5 down here as we now start the best overtaking opportunity you will have on this track. There's not many of them, Hedge, but this one's a long one.
There isn't, mate. You are right. As J Wills goes straight into the wall and gets... Does he get damage? He doesn't. Thought he did into the wall. He went off, went very wide, but no damage to the McLaren. But I'm sure we'll see damage at some point tonight for practically everybody. If you get damage, you've absolutely smashed it, as I'm sure Limmy would agree.
Down to turn 10 with Lewis, and there you go. That's the first part of a difficult zone, as you saw Lewis just hitting that wall on the right hand side, and you heard the damage to his end plate. I've got a different view on my Mercedes because I've edited the camera to try and make it as close to the real life shoulder cam as possible, which is why you might notice it's a little bit different. As we come down the second DRS point, this is down to turn 14 where we saw a couple of cars over braking going into the rundown area as a Haas driver retires. We enter the third tricky technical, and this is the point in the practice race where it literally took everyone by surprise. It's got a sharp left under the tunnel, a sharp right, a tricky chicane, and then you've got your final corners to put in a lap, Kez, and so far we're hitting the 37s.
We are indeed, mate. James has retired going into the pits, I believe. Just caught a glance of it on my stream.
Right.
So the Haas driver's gone in qualifying without getting a time in. As J Luke joins late, he will not get a quality time in, but we all know how quick J Luke is, and I'm sure he will back into it. There's also Ferrari off as well, is it? It's Jacob Bryce, I believe. It is. He's not out of the race, but he's in a bit of a mess, as you can see. I don't think he can get out of that corner. Bless him. He's stuck in the corner, Jacob Bryce. He does get out eventually. Oh, he spun out again! He's having a nightmare! This is just in qualifying, Limmy.
He'll have some low tyre temps, meaning he'll have no traction at all. And this is not actually an asphalt surface, Singapore, which is why it kills the tyres. Franco Pompey says, good numbers tonight, should be a good race. Absolutely, we might get one more as well. We've got an introduction of 2 drivers. One of them, I believe, is one of Chris Panda's league racing teammate. Be interesting to see where he goes. And another guy, a comment was put in, I didn't quite remember what it was, but it's to shape the pack a little bit as well and see what these guys can offer. Smithy's starting second at the moment, as we've had a third of qualifying. Arrow's just gone second with a 38.8, and he'll be looking for quicker than that, Kez, because we should see some 36s come in a little bit.
Oh, it's plenty of time, mate. I'm sure that a couple of drivers might go out and test the mediums. Yeah, you can see Jacko's doing that now, actually. Test the mediums, get a feel for the mediums, then go on to the softs and try and get a better lap time towards the latter stages of qualifying. Chris Panda says, have a great stream as always, boys. Appreciate it, Chris. Good luck tonight. Hopefully you can get yet another podium after very nearly nicking the P1 from underneath Jelly's wings yesterday, but a superb race from the two of them, if you caught that on the stream. and hopefully tonight we are in for a treat again. I am sure we will be. This track never disappoints, and I'm expecting big things tonight, especially with at least 18 drivers. I'll do some research, but I believe that could be a record this season. 18 drivers. What a turnout.
Mike crossed the line with a 38.6, just under 2 tenths quicker than hour, but still over 1.5 seconds behind. J Will has completed his lap, 39.6. He'll be looking to improve on that, but it's not a bad banker as he's 6 in 4. That's dropped Smithy, Luke Lewis down. Chimps in 8th, quite a slow time at the moment. It probably was a banker. No laps from Chris Panda, but he has just started his fast lap as he enters the Ripples Boulevard.
Is it a collision? Oh no, it's not a collision. I think it might have been Arav letting... Sorry, Jay was letting Arav go past. I do apologise. Ryan Mills says in the chat, hello there. Hello Ryan, good luck tonight again, mate. Really solid season for you so far. Keep it up tonight. You got a podium in the practice race, although there was a bit of drama. You're more than capable of getting a good finish again, so get your head down. Good luck to you and your teammate Chris. Really interesting qualifying so far. Hobbsy with the fastest lap by some margin, 1.6 quicker than Mike in the Red Bull. But let's look at that. I mean, at least practically half the grid haven't even done a time yet. And I'm sure that the majority of these, if not all of them, will want to improve on that time with the next 10 minutes of qualifying. I'm guessing weather's okay, Limmy. Have we had a notification to say about weather, or do we not know?
But I don't want one actually.
You don't want one?
You
don't want one?
No,
okay.
I don't want one. I don't want one. Chris Panda is, and if you do find out, don't tell me.
I will
Chris
not.
Panda,
Don't you worry about that.
I've just been on board with him. He's been driving superbly, pushing the Renault through those corners, getting as close to the walls as possible. Just started his tunnel section, had a slight moment as you see the Red Bull Jelly getting out of his way. Had a very slight moment, and just there as well, losing the back end a tiny bit, but it's not a bad effort. He was purple first, just about purple sector. Oh, he cut it the last corner, and he shouldn't have done it because he was on for a great lap. And that would have put him first. Greg is on his lap. Kez, why don't you take us a bit through that and see what you think? He's gone purple first sector.
I was just on Jelly, but we'll move to Greg. I think Jelly may have got an invalidated lap time anyway. On board with Greg. We haven't seen Greg before. As Limmy said, he's a new driver. 2 new drivers tonight, so looking forward to seeing what they're about. Greg does race with Chris Panda, I believe, in another league during the week. I may be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what Chris said. So Greg's first race, and Chris said he's a decent driver, not a bad driver at all, so looking forward to see what he can ride in the Alfa Romeo. Got a yellow flag, it's just an overtake, nothing serious. Looks comfortable, Greg, so far. Again, I'm not 100% certain on all the timings on this track, as Limmy is. Limmy's sort of like the more knowledgeable one out of the two. So we'll keep an eye on Greg and see how he gets on. It is his first lap, not got a timing just yet. And we will stay on board with the Alfa Romeo and see how he goes. Got another yellow flag, but again, just an overtake. Doesn't look like anything serious. So, Limmy, quick question for you. Are you ready?
Yep.
How many of the 18 finished tonight?
I'd like 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I'd go for.
Yeah.
And so Greg has got, now I don't know whether that's on my side, but he wasn't actually pushing his accelerator fully down during that lap. It was about 80%. He did push it down at the end. See, it's still not full. I don't know whether he's doing that on purpose or not, or it's a glitch, because he came around the final corner and it was full. I'm just going to send him a quick message just to make sure, because that is not good for him. Greg, if you are watching one of the streams, please just check your accelerator thing.
Accelerator button.
Your accelerator bar.
Good shout out, Limmy, actually. I didn't even notice, so a very, very good pick up from you, and it could benefit him. Hopefully he's seen. I mean, if you message him as well, and that should hopefully have notified him.
Hopefully, I mean, it's big. Smithy had that problem, well, that's why he was so slow, and then changed it for Italy, came 4th. Now he's 6.6, he will be expecting better. Jacob's coming through the tunnel section on a fast lap, not invalidated for Ferrari driver. We had a tournament tonight, he's been on his PS4 quite a lot, as have most of us, to be fair. A top dog retires without a time. at turn 14, as we mentioned before. Jacob Rice comes around turn 22 and 23, crosses the line, goes from 15th to 11th for him.
Much improvement needed from Jacob, I'm sure you will agree on that. J. Luke is here. 2 podiums in 2 races for him, we can't not mention him. He only races Saturdays, which is why he wasn't here yesterday. He will start 18th because he missed the ready up time before the race started, so he will not get a qualifying time, and that's why you can't see him on your screen. But even when J. Luke starts 18th, you just know he's going to be... But it won't stop him again. An interesting, just realised actually, only one of the racing points here tonight, which could be massive for the constructors.
It's not just that, it's for the drivers as well, as I believe we will go through it in the formation and that, but
yeah.
Fabi Venom did overtake Arab and is about 7 points in front, so that might change. J-Luke, if I could escape the first 2 laps unscathed, and I'm confident this race will be interesting, absolutely agree, but you have got quite a few people to get past, and it is not easy to do so. J-Luke is my winner, says Pompey. Lewis claiming the dub, says Lockie. Maybe he's 6/8 at the moment. Arav is about to set up a fast lap or pit for a new set as he's got some time. Just on with Mills. All day Singapore.
Mr. P6 Ryan Mills, I'd like to call him. And was within 0.4 of his first ever podium, just got pipped to it by Fabi Venom, who isn't here tonight as we just mentioned, but a very, very good effort for Mills. He's been very good all season, Ryan Mills, very consistent, and hopefully tonight for his sake, and for Chris Panda's sake, another good night for the Renaults, because they are catching the teams above them in terms of the constructors, and Chris Panda's catching the people in terms of the drivers as well. I think he's got 2 podiums in a row now. In Spain and of course yesterday in Monza, so Chris Panda's really, really improved, and I'm sure when we do the end of the season awards in 3 or 4 weeks time, he will be up there for the most improved award, as will Ryan Mills, I'm sure, because he's been very, very good as well and seems to have got better over time, but we'll discuss that obviously towards the back end of the season. Big night tonight in Singapore. Is one of them tracks that can just throw up anything, and with it being very narrow as well. Has he gone?
He didn't go, but he slowed himself down by braking over before, too late for bridge, and we'll see that all night. We saw it on the practice race.
Just on board with CaptainLimmy, who I'm sure will want to be up there tonight as usual. Last night's winner in Monza.
Mills is invalidated. He won't have enough time to go back in the pits. Actually, he might just. Who are you on board with? Jelly, okay, he's coming round to turn 18, the start of the tunnel section. What a section for the fans, just have that in the practice race as well. As it comes through the final chicane, tricky one, that one. They changed that a few years ago as well, and here we go, it comes around the final corner, cuts the curve very nicely, 37 dead to beat, 37.5, so Hobbsy still pole by half a second, but beats Mike by half a second as well.
Oh, not pole anymore, because Chris Panda has taken it. Mr. Improvement, who we just said, he's been improving all season. For now, goes into P1. Jelly retires, so he's obviously happy with a maximum of a P3. Obviously, we'll not get...
He can't improve anymore. He's probably not happy. But he doesn't have enough time. He doesn't have the tyres.
Very true. Oh, and Mike just hit into the wall, so that may... Did it give him damage, or did he get lucky? Let's have a look.
As well,
He's no right end plate. So that's Mike, probably done and dusted.
Jacko has run out of battery already. He's got a McLaren of J-Wells as Smithy gets out of the way, and he might have got a little bit of a toe of the McLaren or dirty air, which is smart slowing down. Not too sure on the distances as Jacko crosses the line. Was P7, goes up one to P6. Chimp is not on a fast lap. I'm guessing he's invalidated. He has got time to recharge and try to improve. Smithy started his fast lap. Luke is on his, so he's coming with around the final corner, Kez, and this is his last chance to try and improve on his 41.2, and he cannot, so he enters for pits. We saw the crash in the pits before, Kez, and it is quite a difficult pit. You've got the pit lane actually starts just after the left-hand turn, and it's 37 mile per hour as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. It's quite a sharp on the left going into the pits. I watched Hobbsy go into the pits a few moments ago, as Mike retires as well. Both Red Bulls retired. Yeah, I saw Hobbsy go into the pits a few moments ago, and he sort of took it really, really wide. It's a very narrow pit lane, and of course with a bit of a sharp left going into it, it could throw up a couple of incidents tonight. You never know. Drivers are rushing to get in the pits. Obviously, don't want to waste any time. Could catch them out. It is one of the most trickiest pit lanes in F1, I believe, in terms of entry. So we'll keep an eye on that. A couple of people retiring now. Jay Wills, he's P7 at the moment. Wants to support his team at Opti tonight and get some points from the McLaren drivers, but he's going to get a P7 at the most. The likes of Chimp, Smithy, and Lewis, I'm sure, will want to try and beat that going into the last 30 seconds of qualifying.
Mills is looking very, very good on this lap so far. Haven't seen any braking issues or tapping of the walls, and as Kes says, quite a few people are happy with their times and are not able to improve as Mills makes his way down to the bridge section. He's actually doing really well to only cut half the curbs, and as long as he gets his braking zone right, it's not perfect, but it's better than last time. And he hasn't invalidated just yet. This racing point is going to have to get out of his way. As he does, hopefully it didn't cost him too much concentration. Good curb out of 14 as well. And Mills is on for not a bad time here. We were discussing before this. Mills said, yo, I might start last and work my way up. I said, no, Mills, you're fighting. Renault are now third in the constructors, as you'll hear us say in the formation lap. You're now fighting Racing Point, only 30 points behind. They've got one driver here tonight. Here is your chance. He's doing well with his lap, and he needs to be, well, can he get his famous P6, Kez, as he rounds the final corner? Let's see what he gets. He crosses the line.
P7. Not bad at all from Ryan Mills. A P7, I'm sure he will
invalidated, Kez.
Take that. So it looks like now we are done.
That's it.
So Chris Panda, I believe, for the first time the season starts pole. Maybe wrong with that. Again, I will have a look, but I'm pretty sure
he's been.
He's pole.
He's been on the front row a few times.
Yeah, but not
Never
pole.
been on pole.
So a qualifying lap. A qualifying point for Chris Panda, which the Renaults will take, and obviously Renaults don't make a difference, but Chris Panda will take it. Good confidence builder for him before the race even started. He starts P1, and it's him who gets the point. So congratulations to Chris Panda. Let's see if he can build on it now and make it, make it count, because it's all right getting the point. Obviously got the point yesterday and didn't finish the race, so you got to make it count. You got a comfortable lead there, Limmy, as well. Obviously not too close. Quite a few. If you look at the top 4 or 5, Limmy, quite big gaps separating them all. Yeah,
quite substantial. It is quite a long lap time here, of course. It is relatively along with Azerbaijan times. Of course, you expect to see the shorter gaps, Monaco, Austria, etc. But yeah, quite big gaps. 4 tenths, 8 tenths, 1.4, 2.1. And not a bad performance for most people. I think the graphic has already gone off my screen, so I can't read the rest. But that is qualifying done anyway. And we now can get on to the formation lap. Jelly retiring on track. I have to take a look at that. Might have just got a bit angry and did that. Hopefully it doesn't affect everyone. Can't do that. But I'm sure many other people have done it as well.
Well, Limit, I've had absolutely no indication of the weather, and I'm sure you haven't either. So a surprise for us.
Looks nice. Looks nice. And just so look at the so anyone on our streams, you can see all the teams have a front wing spare for cars. They might need probably 20 more for tonight, because we expect a lot of end plates, a lot of wing changes, a lot of pit stop action. Could be a safety car early on as well. And we have the start of a formation lap, and it's light out, way go.
Limit, a big thing I want to mention here, obviously we've talked about numbers earlier, now 18.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Who's that?
I tried to do a U in a practice race, light out, way go. In Italy.
Light away go, and then talk absolute gibberish for 30 seconds, bless me.
No, right
did he? Oh, yeah, he did, of course he did, yeah, with the start, yeah, he ruined me.
Jump start.
Anyway.
He just went, I have watched it.
I know,
watched
gutted.
it last night.
Absolutely gutted. I was sat there waiting for my big moment and it got taken away, but I'm sure it'll come next time. A quick mention on the drivers, 18 to that, which I'm pretty sure is a record for this season. What a night to get 18 for a track like Singapore. Incredible. So thank you again to all 18. Let's have our predictions maybe as they come round before we play, but if you can.
No, again, I'll I can't choose. We had someone questioned me in the party just before. I'm going for a Chris Panda win.
Oh.
I'm going for a J-Luke podium and a surprise, maybe a fourther, like the Hour of Miller's chimp maybe.
Yeah.
And I do think there will be a crash from one of the top 5 at the moment.
I think Chris Panda's he's gone from 3rd to 2nd, so now it's time to get his first. A 3rd in Spain, a 2nd last night in Monza. So if the pattern continues, he should win. No pressure, Chris, and you're starting 3rd for the first time this season. No pressure. We're going into the final corner, so I'll let Limmy take away the most important moment of the race, which of course is the start. Quite a lot of people on the grid as well, Limmy, as well. Didn't even finish the lap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the most important part, definitely, imminently. J-Luke's just spun on the formation lap, which means we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. But yeah, hard tyres for everyone below the top 10, softs for everyone above the top 10. It can be a 2-stop, never seen a 1-stop done, but that's what the bottom 10 are looking to do. And Kez, we've got to prepare ourselves because it's probably going to get above an hour, this one. And the best thing about live commentary, of course, we say it all the time, is that whatever happens on the track happens, and we have to react and deal with it. It is race 9 out of 15. The lights are now coming on for the Singapore Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. It was a very long hold, but Chris Panda gets away well. It's what he would have wanted. The 2 Red Bulls wheel to wheel through turn 1, and Jelly keeps 3rd, Hobbsy keeps 2nd, Mike keeps 4th, Jacko an hour behind. Position changes so far as we head towards the start of the boulevard. The Alfa Male and Alva swapped. There's a yellow flag in sector 1, but everyone is away okay, and J Luke's up 6.
Yeah, Lewis White's not away okay, Limmy. He's really struggling at the back and he's not moving. And Smithy's left. Could be a connection issue for Smithy, which is an absolute nightmare for him. Topper gets a 5-second penalty for collision with James. But Lewis White with a poor start and damage for the Mercedes driver. Wills has also come off. He's down 10. A nightmare for him, and he's got work to do.
Absolutely right. We're under VSC conditions.
Oh, it's a collision, Limmy.
Moment.
A collision. Top Dog and Lewis White just hit each other on stream. Not retired, I don't believe. But quite a serious collision that was caught on stream, and Jelly has got a drive-through penalty in lap 1.
You're absolutely right. The Red Bull driver has been given, as Kez said, a drive-through penalty for exceeding his delta time, and we can't do anything about that from this point. But Chris Panda is away by a second as he heads towards the final sector on the first lap. Jelly 9/10 for a drive-through. That means Mike's going to move up to 3rd. Jacko and Hour have still got an hour on my screen. I think they're having a good battle. Smith is in P7, Mills and Chimp just then. So far, apart from that thing that happened at the back, it's okay. But Hobbs is now starting to gain on the Renault at the front.
Yeah, you're right, Lee. Look at that. J-Luke already up 8. He's on a mission once again to make a name for himself and climb that grid. Chris Panda, obviously with the fastest lap, he crossed the line first. So that's a no-brainer. Jelly's in the pits, obviously for his drive-through, which is not ideal. The new driver Luke and the Mercedes getting a 3-second penalty as well. So a bit of drama, but not too much yet. Jelly comes out of the pits after his drive-through, and that should put him in around about the P14 area, I believe, as J-Bulls enters the pits on the first lap. I'll keep an eye on the tyres as Limmy takes over.
Obviously 2/10 behind Chris Panda at the moment, and Chris Panda's going to be under threat for quite a while. But we've seen Hobbs' race pace decrease, but tonight, no way. Jacko's now into 4th, and he goes wheel to wheel with Arav. Oh, his collision with a safety car, too much damage on the track, and that was Jacko and Arav. Out of turn 8, I think it is, where the invisible wall is. It wasn't an invisible wall, but it was a wheel-to-wheel collision as I think Jacko just gave out that place back. Maybe he thought he was a little bit in the wrong. And we do have a safety car on lap 2 of Singapore. We're definitely going at over an hour.
Yeah, we thought we guaranteed a safety car at some point. It's been one in every race this season, and of course there's going to be one in Singapore at some point. And it's took just 2 laps. No one retired yet, but we've got a safety car, as I mentioned. All 18 still alive, apparently. Jay Smithy did disconnect, so unfortunately for him, he will now be an AI driver, which is a massive shame for Jay Smithy. But not much you can really do about that. Disconnections happen, unfortunately, and it's cost him tonight. But all 18 still alive, and that drive-through penalty for Jelly not cost him too much in the end. He is down to P14, but obviously with the safety car anyway, he's back within the pack. I will be at least very shortly.
So we had a safety car early on in Italy. Chris Panda decided to pit early in Italy. He's also decided to pit early in Singapore as well. But I did a pit stop in a fun race, and I got held up a heck of a lot. As Chris Panda's going to get held up as a McLaren goes past. Won't affect him too much, but pit stops coming in.
Pit stop coming in for fun, aren't they?
Every single person nearly is coming in. However, Greg isn't. He's staying on his hard. Lewis, excuse me, has been given a drive-through penalty for speeding, and he did that in Italy as well. Still hasn't learnt his lesson from last night, and it is killing his chances of any points. A lot of pit lane action, Kez. If you can try and give us any sort of an update, that'd be great.
0 laps for practically everybody. It's quite a sight, actually, that 3 laps in, and every single driver, I believe, has pitted, which is pretty outstanding. You don't see that very often. Am I right in saying that? I think I'm right in saying that. Everyone's pitted, which is incredible. You don't see it that very often. Apart from the top 3, of course, that are still on the hards. That's Greg, AEK and Jacob. Other than that, it's a majority medium, with the exception of the top 4, Jacko and Wills. Chris Panda going on to the hard compound. An interesting selection from the quali winner.
Yeah, so it's a medium soft for everyone who has selected the actually, it might even be a medium for everyone who's selected the mediums. The hards, can they go to the end? Not really. If you think about 100% race, so they'd have to do 59 laps on them. It's just not possible. You have to half it, of course, here, double but wear. So the hard tyres are going to have to survive, and if anything, they're quite poor around here. The job for Greg, AEK and Jacob is to stay ahead of the hunting pack. The job for Chris Panda and Mike Hobbs is to get past them as quickly as possible. The problem they've got, Kez, it's now down to driver pace. They've all got new tyres, and they're going to have to get past them without causing any damage.
Yeah.
Any damage from this point would severely hurt and hinder their future chances.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a very, very difficult track to overtake on. There's not much room for error in Singapore, as I'm sure you can see. I think I mentioned in the practice last week, in the majority of circuits, obviously it's been like a street circuit. There's obviously no gravel and no grass to go onto to save you. You're practically going into the wall. Very narrow circuit, and overtakes don't come around too often as they approach the starting grid. For lap 4, safety car won't come in just yet. Obviously, not everyone's caught up. 18 drivers still in though, which is nice to see. Nobody has gone just yet. Now I've said that, someone will probably retire in the next 10 seconds. But no, yeah, like you say, quick update in the tyres. Everybody's pitted, apart from that top 3 that don't want to pit. Greg, AK and Jacob staying out. They have no reason to pit, obviously being on the hard compound. They will last them a while. So an interesting start, but it's nice to see that all 18 drivers are still going.
So the safety car lap time was 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which means we're going to have 5 minutes just to cover 2 laps here. Another thing, we did introduce some new safety car rules just for tonight to test something that has been going on for quite a while. So each car, when the safety car comes in, is not allowed to go below 40. They've all got to maintain a car's width, which we're all doing very well, which is good to see. They're all following the rules. And thirdly, there was another thing, something about staying a car's width behind each other, which I think I just said. and so far they're all adhering to the rules, which is really good to see. And a couple of arguments early on, but it's not only protecting your car from damage, it's protecting your position, and so that cars don't go wheel to wheel when the safety car restarts. The whole point of the safety car is to reform a grid and keep it organised and secure, not to then cause another safety car. You can do it in real life because they're fully trained and they know what they're doing. So some people here are questionable.
Yeah, you're right, Limmy.
We're working our way.
No, you carry on, mate. You carry on.
The bridge.
Oh,
Greg, a bit of a connection.
I was going to say he was lagging. I didn't know whether it was me or him, but his car was jumping everywhere, and that pretty much explains that it was his connection, which is a massive shame in his first night of the season. Obviously leading the pack, not pitted. Bit of a shame for Greg, but unfortunately that's 2 disconnections now in the space of 4 laps.
So Greg is leading the safety car restart, but it's not him.
It's an AI driver. It's interesting.
It's a bot.
Yeah.
And it's causing problems because he's slowed down.
I mean, that rule you said goes out the window now. Goes out the window.
Which is not in. Which was not the plan. The plan was to stay above 40, but it's not a person in the car. If it was Greg, I'm sure he would have stayed above 40. I mean, look, he's doing 25, which was not the plan. And it's actually caused penalties, which obviously everyone can submit, that's fine. But people have hit some people. I mean, look at AEK.
Yeah, AEK got a penalty.
End plate.
Yeah.
And
Greg's off.
As well, but
he's gone.
The bot, well, we say it's Greg, it's Greg Jr. or Greg Senior. He's off to start lap 5 of Singapore, and we go again. AEK led by Jacob Bright, Chris Panda and Michael a little bit close as well. Hobbsy had a bit of a gap as he tucks in to turn 1. Smithy has got an X next to his name. Is he a bot as well? Think he is. Think he lagged before. Chimp 8th, out of 9th, Chaco 10th. No into.
Oh, it's a collision limit. It's a collision limit. Sorry to interrupt. Jacob Bryce seemed to hit into Chris Panda. He went into the wall. May have lost an end plate. I will check that because I can't get the right camera angle at the moment. The left end plate should be missing and is. So there's damage for Chris Panda.
You're right, and Jacob Bryce has 0 damage, and Chris Panda makes a move on AEK. That was textbook, even with damage. Oh, AEK, what are you doing?
Oh no.
He's just smacked Chris Panda into the wall. Top dog retired as well as Hobbsy goes wheel to wheel with Jacob Bryce through turn 10. And Chris Panda is lucky to stay in P2 with no damage. But that was a bit harsh.
Yeah, 2 incidents there that were both caught on the stream that weren't his fault, and he's got damage from the first one, and he's very, very fortunate to get no damage on the second one. I
thought I would have been a wing off actually.
Yeah, very fortunate there, Chris Panda.
Hit the wall. Hobbsy's now back under, well, right under the gearbox of Chris Panda, or behind should I say. AEK is now into P10 as we work our way through the final sets of lap 5, and Arav is catching Jacob as well, and he'll want to get past sooner rather than later. I'm sure, as Greg still leading the pack with his bottle. Chris Panda is going to get past the Alpha driver, and Chris Panda with left end plate damage now leads the Grand Prix as we see Hobbsy. He's going to try and get past Greg, but Greg got a pretty good exit, and this is just delaying Hobbsy. And oh, Mike has out of nowhere, I didn't see him as he gets a double overtake, does Mike? On Hobbsy and Greg on the outside of turn 2 into 3. Mike is on a mission too. Yeah,
I was on board with Mike before you mentioned it. Let me just keep an eye on him. Look, he was going to come out of nowhere. Oh, as Chris Panda hits the wall again on the left-hand side of his car, clearly struggling a little bit. Mike Whitty came from nowhere. Beautiful overtake on Hobbsy and the AI.
Oh, massive collision at the back. Pack up a 4, I think. Pack up a 4
Wills,
out of turn 5.
Smithy, Luke.
The VSC as well.
Luke, Smithy and Jay Wills, a 3-car pile-up. Smithy is an AI driver and so's Greg, so that could throw a couple of curveballs in there. Obviously they're not going the speed they should be, not obviously down to them, it's not their fault. AI drivers are just a pain in the arse a bit on this game. But it's lovely overtake from Mike, and it did cause, I don't know if you see that, Limmy, it did cause Hobbsy to pick up a 3-second penalty. I think he went wide, went over the curb and got a penalty, so that could play a factor as well. But Mike will be over the moon, especially with Chris Panda having damage in front of him as well.
So they weren't wheel to wheel, that's for sure. It was Mike had, I think he took the outside curve, which you do like in a quali lap, and just came in, and Hobbsy was restricted by Greg's AI, which is why Mike did get the double overtake on them both. Chris Panda's got a decent getaway from a virtual safety car. He's now a second. Arif has overtaken Greg, and J. Luke is just behind him.
Damage.
In P6 on first.
There's damage, Limmy. The right hand plate of Hobbsy's gone. I saw it on the track. I was on board with Arav and I saw an orange car part, and it is the right end plate of Hobbsy. Can confirm.
Right, that's interesting, as the only person to not have damage in the top 3 at the moment is Mike Whitty, but Chris Panda is pulling away, showing some good pace in Singapore, and he's got damage on the track. He wouldn't want it as well, as Arif 2.6 behind Hobbsy, J-Luke 1.8 behind him. J-Luke will, I'm sure, be having a go as Jacko and Jacob go wheel to wheel through turn 1. The Ferrari pirouettes nearly, and that allows a free overtake for the Red Bull as well, as Shimp, I'm sure, wasn't on board, but probably had to brake, as the two going wheel to wheel through turn 1, Kez. We found out in 2017, and I just think I saw some damage or a leak, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, damage for Jelly, quite serious damage for Jelly hitting to the back of Jacko. Caught that on stream as well, and quite serious for Jelly. And we've got another yellow flag for VSC. As the Chuckle Brothers enter the chat on stream. Sean and Reese thinking they're funny yet again. Boys, I've told you, subscribe to me. Put a notification bell on, come on, at least like the video while you're here. And thanks for watching, you got the viewers up. Yeah, damage for Jelly. The right hand side of his Red Bull is a mess, and it will be a pit stop for Jelly. He did hit into Jacko, so not ideal. Quite a lot of the drivers, Limmy, with damage. Chris, Hobbsy and Jelly. We know they've got damage, I don't know about anybody else. But damage for them all, which could play a factor. Pit stops incoming as a green flag comes out, and we are racing again.
Absolutely, and Hobbsy is pressuring Mike even with that damage. But like you said, Jelly has some severe damage. He's missing half of his right wing, which is going to severely hinder him on a track like this. Will mediums get you to the end? Probably not. 24 laps when they cross, times 2 is 48. I only do 100% normally, and there's no way. So Jelly might have to go for a hard Kez, as Hobbsy did kind of cut the last curve but did not receive a penalty for it, as J. Luke has reduced the gap to 0.2 seconds behind Arif. The VSC does not restrict our DRS restrictions, of course, and all the drivers will have that DRS, and J. Luke will want to try and get past Arif down to turn 5, takes the inside in his Williams, but Arif is fighting back in his racing point, and he will have DRS. Looking for J. Luke, he might just survive as it. What is going on my screen? I don't know if you saw what I saw.
I'm just on board with Jelly in the pits, mate. I've not seen anything on track.
I just had 2 cars just completely glitch out. Just check on your screen, Jacko 6 and Greg 7.
Jacko 6 and Greg 7th. I mean, don't forget Greg's an AI driver. I'm not sure whether that had anything to do with it. There's been a couple of lag issues, I think. Just a quick mention on penalties, Limmy. Hobbs got another 3-second penalty, and Chris got a 3-second penalty as well. So that's 6 seconds now for Hobbsy.
I didn't think it was penalty, but I didn't get any information. I think
I'm not sure on connection, mate. I've not. So I didn't see anything. I'm not too sure. Maybe a bit of lag.
Chris Panda's half a second ahead.
Yellow flag Ferrari.
Sector 2. It's a Ferrari at bridge section as Chris Panda just tapped the wall out of turn 17 just before the tunnel. Got no damage, and Mike 4 steps behind. Hobbsy 6 steps. J. Luke half a second. It's all getting quite tight between this pack of 4. A 9-second gap. Pack of 5, sorry. A 9-second gap to anyone behind, and here's Mike's chance to make a move in the next few corners anyway. The fastest lap will reduce later on, but it is set by the Williams driver of J. Luke, who's now into P3, who's overtaken Hobbsy. Another yellow flag in sector 2. It's a Mercedes at bridge section, but we'll go back to it as Mike is going to try and make his move down Ripples Boulevard as long as he gets a good exit. Did he get the exit he wanted? He does have the DRS. Here we go. Is he catching Chris Panda to take the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix? Going to go to the inside down to turn 7. Wheel to wheel through there, and Mike has to get the elbows out to go into P1.
Yeah, J-Luke got damage on me from all that. J-Luke was right behind the 2 of them, and he's lost his right end plate, so another driver with damage. Hitting to the back of Mike or Chris, I'm not sure which one, but damage for the Williams of J. Luke.
I had a fantastic dynamic view of the pack of 5 coming through turn 8 as J-Luke, yeah, you're right, does have damage, and he's all over the back of the Renault driver, looking to make a move down the inside. Chris Panda gives him a room, but gets a great exit, and I wondered why Hobbsy didn't get the exit that he wanted out of that corner, because he had some time. Yellow flag in sector 2. It's a Haas driver. Turn 8 is J-Luke, goes down the inside on Chris Panda into turn 14, gets the move done, but whilst all that has been happening, Mike's increased his gap by 2 seconds and has no damage as the Red Bull driver.
This is superb for Mike, because the 3 drivers behind him, J-Luke, Panda and Hobbsy, have all got damage. And Mike hasn't.
Yeah.
So what an opportunity for Mike now to pull away and get a bit of a lead. You can say that J-Luke, Chris Panda and Hobbsy are quick, but they will struggle a little bit. You can see Chris Panda's braking is a little bit more firm, shall we say, as he heads into the pits. Probably a smart choice. Hobbsy and J-Luke stay up, but they have both got damage. Arav also in a good position here, as he's got no damage.
Chris Panda entering the pits will go on board very quickly. It looks like a set of mediums should just about be able to go to the end, maybe a safety car to help him out later. As Jacko goes into P5 with the overtake on the pits, Greg is still an AI, which I'm sure everyone will overtake at some point. Moves Hobbsy into P3. J-Luke is the same, of course, and he's still 1.8 seconds behind Mike. We know how quick he is, but he has got issues now. He's got damage, and that's allowing Mike to keep that gap for now. All Mike has to do is just stay ahead and protect his tyres as much as he can, and protect that battery, which is oh so precious when you've got a fast wooden driver going behind you. AEK takes a pit, Kez, and that moves Mills into P9.
Yeah, and a medium compound for Chris Panda. Let me just keep you updated. AEK is in the pits, you are right. Chris now 7th and has got work to do. There's another yellow flag.
No, he's bottled it. Mike has bottled it, and he can't do a 3-point turn in his Red Bull.
No damage.
And he was stuck in the wall, so he had to reset on the bridge section. But there's the P1 gone that he worked so hard for. And one braking zone down to bridge, it's gonna literally kill people.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. Fortunately, no damage for him. But he does lose his P1, and that puts J-Luke into P1. The top 2, as mentioned, have got damage, so Arav is in a good position here, and he's right on the tail of Hobbsy. Definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the gaps as well. There is also a small gap between the 2 Ferraris, and that's because Smithy is a bot. We'll go on board with Jacob, as I'm sure he'll want to get past Smithy as soon. His teammate, of course, anyone who is an AI or had a connection issue, their points do not carry over, but it is a free pass if you can get it without damage. J-Luke picks up a 3-second penalty, and don't count out a late safety car here tonight, and he has damage as well, so it's all not all good and happy and smiley in that Williams cockpit now, as Arav is trying to close on Hobbsy, but he's actually not doing so.
Yeah, I'm sure Claire will be biting her nails now after seeing J-Luke get a penalty. Not often see a Williams in P1, that is for sure. Arav again is the only driver out of the pack not to have gone off track yet. I don't want to jinx it for you, Arav. You're in a good position. Hobbsy has got damage, don't forget. But to be fair, holding his P2 well at the moment. J-Luke's got a comfortable lead for now, but as you mentioned, has a penalty and damage. So all these things come into play, especially towards the back end of the race. But for now, everybody's doing okay. Nobody's struggling at the moment, and we've still got 17 out of the 18, which, if I'm being honest, after 11 after 11 laps, you would not have predicted.
Look at that helicopter view. It's beautiful on board with Chris Panda in the dynamic. It's a great shot of the track, and now in real life, of course, the qualifying end race is done at night, but some people who set up the lobbies don't understand that. Kaz, Jake, whoever's listening. But it is beautiful at night, but it's also not bad looking in the day either, as that helicopter view is beautiful. And Chris Panda did make an overtake over Greg's AI, leaves him at 11 seconds behind 5th place, but all of them will probably need to pit at some point. Arav is so close to the back of Hobbsy as well, and we'll see his move, I'm sure, down the boulevard very shortly, as long as he gets the exit he wants, and let's see if he does get that. He's got the DRS now, and he's he's close. Will he be close enough to make a move? Hobbsy goes defensive to the left-hand side. Down to turn 7. Our breaks super late. Tries to take the outside line. Oh, Hobbsy does brilliantly to defend, but I think either he had right end plate damage before, or he's just got some. As for 2, go wheel to wheel. Down to turn 10 as Arab gets the move done. He's into P2 with no damage.
Yeah, it was only been a matter of time until I've got that P2. Hobbsy will not give up on it, but that right end plate damage for Hobbsy was going to cost him eventually. I was making good ground behind him and eventually gets the overtake. But Hobbsy will not let go lightly. Maybe a good opportunity for Hobbsy to pit now and get this damage sorted, because it is going to catch up with him at some point.
J Luke pits for a new wing. J Luke is out in front by 6.8 seconds as Hobbsy now they're still scrapping, but Hobbsy goes for a switchback through 13. 14, what a move! And he's got damage as well. I know he's got a penalty and stuff. Oh, well, talking about penalties,
so
Arab has just picked one up as well. But it was a great move by Hobbsy through turn 14, a great switchback. Arab did break late for the previous 4 corners, and Hobbsy was probably thinking, well, if he breaks late here, I might have a chance. Took the chance. Oh, J Luke, 5-second penalty. That's 8 seconds for speeding the pit lane. A rookie error for a veteran driver.
Yeah, it was a rookie error, Limmy, you're right, and these penalties will add up. As Mike obviously gets into that P3. That collision for not collision, sorry, that incident for Mike wasn't ideal, of course, with the P1, but to be fair, he's got no damage and he's into P3, so head up, Mike, and keep going, mate. You're doing okay. Interesting race so far, Limmy, though. Still 17 remain, with the exception of 2 AI drivers. Let's not forget. Jacko overtakes Chris Panda, of course, as well. Interesting start. Not much to comment on at the moment, but that was great between Arav and Hobbsy, and that fight continues as Arav is right on the tail of the McLaren.
Absolutely. Jake is going to overtake Greg, I'm sure, in the next couple of corners as he gets past the AI driver, as he tried to take a little bit of a curve, Jelly, but he's going to get Greg's car just here, I think. Well, at least with the DRS, just to support him. And we'll just go on board with that, as there is a couple of small gaps elsewhere, but I think Arab will stay behind Hobbsy for the imminent future. As here's Jake's overtake, goes on the inside of Greg, down to turn 7, and Lewis picks up a penalty in a completely different other scenario. Chris Panda did get in front of J Luke as J Luke pitted, and this is really good because Chris Panda's on better tyres. He's just made a great move out of the brake section. To get past the Alpha, and that splits up J Luke again, but Chris Panda's got nice medium tyres, should be able to get them to the end with some assistance by a VSC or a safety car to prolong them. And we're still waiting, Kez, for the top 3, Jacko and Greg, to make another pit stop, but I think everyone else can go to the end. Yeah,
good overtake by Chris Panda. He was right. Jacko did take it a little bit wide, which opened up the opportunity for Chris, but he made no mistake in taking it. We have lost somebody. It's Lewis.
Safety car.
In the Mercedes. We're down to 16. Perfect. And a second safety car in Singapore. Perfect. 14 laps in.
Oh, is that where he's gone? Just go on board with the... is it Arab? No, who's in the racing point? No, is that a racing point? Oh, that's the safety car. Go on board with Chris Panda,
yeah.
And you'll see they can all overtake the safety car, and you can see the Mercedes. So this is the turn 5 to the start of the DRS, and he's gone right into that wall. And he's just gone wide. He just took it too quick.
Yeah.
And that's it. And we have a safety car. We've had 2 safety cars for the 2 people that have gone out. Importantly, Jacko did get ahead of Greg coming out of a pit stop. That's crucial. They can all overtake the safety car, of course. Now, this is good for Mike because they're at Delta pace, Kez.
Yep.
So wherever you are on the circuit, you will not gain on anyone. The only place you will gain is by pit stopping now, which Mike, Arav and Hobbsy can do. Now, Kez, don't forget, Hobbsy and Arav have to change their wings. So Mike should come out first, or at least very close to Chris Panda, and mediums should be fine.
I don't think Arav's got damage, Limmy. He got a penalty. I just Hobbsy with the damage, so he will not change his wing. It'll just be Hobbsy. I do believe. I'll just double check. Yeah, no damage for Arav. Right. It was a penalty, if you remember. Jacko gets a drive-through penalty. These little
Why do
errors
people do it?
can cost you so much. And
You
a
might
healthy
as well just
P6 as
retire.
well. A healthy P6. And then that has cost him. Obviously, he does enter the pits. We expected that, especially with the damage. Asus Arav, let's keep an eye on them too, and that should put Mike into P. Oh, no, it's not. Mike pits as well.
Sorry, Kez.
No, you go ahead, mate. You go ahead.
Chris Panda. Round the final corner. Now this is important. Where he comes up, look how slow he's having to go, at 90 miles an hour, and the Ferrari is on his way back out. That's a back marker. The Arab is on his way back out. I think Chris Panda is going to have the net lead, and J Luke is going to go past them all as well. No, he isn't. He's going to be split by Arab. Just about. It was so close, but J Luke can't go past, and Chris Panda now net leads the Singapore Grand Prix with Arab, J Luke, Mike and Hobbsy behind, and Jacko is trying to do his drive-through, I think, Kez, but he can't do it on a safety car.
Oh, so even more of an error for Jacko. A P6 as well, a healthy position for Jacko, but he has messed that up a little bit. Chris Panda leads, started first, and he's back in that P1 position for now, the qualifying winner.
Oh, he's going softs.
Smithy's disqualified. He was an AI driver anyway, so not an issue at all.
Jacko's put softs on. They can't do 10 laps.
No, mine's 16.
Well, yeah, they can't even do 8, to be honest. Not gonna lie. The track, Jack, such a small error, you might as well, just...
Jacob Bryce done it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, well, it's... I mean, I have no sympathy for anyone anymore, because we've told them since race 1 that you can't overtake on a safety car. You can't overtake on a virtual safety car. So whoever's behind you, no matter how slow you're going, they're not allowed to go past you. The only thing that you're letting yourself down on if you do go slower than Delta is the car in front, because you're losing time.
Yep.
There is no reason to speed. No reason at all. He's thrown his P6 away. He's thrown his race away. It's 10 past 11 at night. And his race over. That's it. The race is done. See you on Friday. There's no way you can come back, even with 2 more safety cars. It's virtually impossible, because everyone on that grid cares, apart from Greg, who is a bot. Everyone on that grid, apart from the soft tyres, can go to the end now.
It's hard to believe that Greg's still 6th. I know he's not pitted, but...
If we did have a safety car on lap 20, lap 24,
still impossible.
No one's going to pit unless we've got the gap to replace softs. And we have another lap, which is another 2.5 minutes.
Another 2.5 minutes to kill.
We spent about 11.5 minutes on safety cars and VSCs. We've had 15 laps completed.
Who's that at the back? Is that the Ferrari? It's Smithy the bot and AK. Is the AK stuck behind him? He is.
No one's lapped, which is good.
That is a massive blow for AK, because he's stuck behind an AI driver who's not going to move half as quick as obviously a normal driver would. So AK may be in a bit of trouble there. Even with another lap, probably won't catch up. I hope he does, obviously. But not great for AK. Not really much he can do when you're stuck behind an AI driver. It's a bit of bad luck, really, isn't it? Hopefully he can catch up, though. Like you say, another lap. That's because at least 6 cars yet. Everyone from J Will's down are yet to catch the pack as we enter what will be lap 17. Still plenty of time to go yet, and I'm sure this race is wide open. Absolutely wide open. These penalties that a lot of the drivers have got. Obviously, we won't check the penalties. They're not worth checking. We'll just have to surprise ourselves towards the end. But yeah, I mean, it was lap 17, and this race is wide open. It could go anywhere at the moment. No real favourite. No one's really bossed it. Everyone's sort of, had the moment in terms of damage, in terms of penalty, in terms of maybe a drive-through pen. No one's been consistent yet. So a really interesting first 16 laps of Singapore, and it is wide open, Limmy.
Also, the facts are, we're not technically halfway yet. We're on race 9 at the moment, and we have 3 more weekends.
Yeah.
As Marty, if you're listening, you classify it as a weekend. We have Canada, France next weekend, Brazil and Bahrain, 2 I mean, Brazil's fantastic, Bahrain's overtaking heaven. And then we have the best 2 races you could ever ask for on the final weekend of Silverstone, and obviously the final race on any calendar, which would be a great way to end off Formula 1 as my final commentary as well. I think all my leagues are finished before then. So that'll be quite emotional, because it's been a great game this year. I put plenty of hours into it. And also, the safety car is not coming in. So we are doing
another
a
2.5 minutes.
lap. Another 2.5 minutes of conversation, which is fine. We can talk all day. We can make us prime ministers. But
oh,
yeah, 2.5
that.
minutes for the drivers to trying to stay concentrated, driving at 40%, 60% race pace as they reduce by 40%. Let's have a quick update on the stops. Why not? So, mostly everyone on a 2-stopper at the moment. A few people on a 3, including Jelly, Jacko, J Wills, Luke and Smithy. Position changes. Chris Panda, after about 40 minutes, still leads for Singapore Grand Prix, but it hasn't been straightforward at all. Out of up 3 so far, J Luke's up 15. We expected that anyway. Can he let it continue? We have Mike in 4th at that moment, but he's okay for now. Hobbsy's lost 3, penalties for him. J-Luke's got 8, let's not forget that. Greg's up 9, he is an AI. Whoever, if he finishes 10th and someone in 11th makes it, we'll swap him. For example, Mills still in his P7, not his famous P6, but he's close when he gets past the AI. And as we go further down the grid, Kez, a lot of red arrows showing.
There is indeed, Limmy. It's going to be interesting, like you say. Normally by now, even with a safety car, you have the sort of... I mean, you can never predict F1. Until the last lap, you can never predict F1. But you normally have the runaway leaders, if you like, by now. The sort of people you know are going to be up there. But this is open. You know, Mike, Hobbs, you've all been up there so far. Don't rule out Jelly as well. You know, he's been towards the back. Obviously had that drive-through pen, didn't he, as well, which cost him early doors. But it's a real open race. Obviously, P6 at the moment is Greg. He is an AI driver, as we've mentioned about 50 times. And I'm sure that P6 will not be there for long for Greg. I'm sure Mills will want it. It is Mills' position as always. And as soon as he overtakes Greg, he will be in that traditional P6 spot. But Chris Panda will be happy. And the safety car is finally coming in this lap and get back to some racing.
If I'm correct, we've had 2 safety cars and
we have
2 VSCs, which means we can only have 1 more event for the final 14 laps when they cross. And Chris Panda's job, very simply, do not get overtaken by Arif and Mike and Hobbsy. Stay 8 seconds behind or clear, if that's even possible, of J-Luke. As Chris Panda gets going with the grid, everyone's following the rules, I think, which is good to see. As, oh no, he has to slow down. He has to slow down. And that's let Arif come in. Chris Panda did what I did in Italy, but I think Arif's just about going to be able to tuck him behind. Chris Panda is a lucky man. Led by Arif, led by J-Luke, led by Mike, who picks up a 3-second penalty for cutting turn 2. Hobbs is behind. Jelly's not past Greg yet. And if Jelly wants a chance at winning the race, Kez, he's got to get past ASAP.
Yeah, got past the AI driver. It's an absolute nightmare. As you can see for Jelly here, when you stuck behind an AI driver, he's losing ground on that top 5, and that is not what you want. Anyone below Greg now is in trouble. That top 5 are flying, and Greg's holding them all behind. Jelly does get the overtake eventually, or does he? He does, and he can try and get his foot down now and catch Hobbsy and the pack above. Everyone got away as well as possible. No damage, I don't think, which is what you like to see. And the top 5 got away well.
J-Luke is now in front of our, could overtake into turn 8 from him, but he is on the hards, Chris is on mediums. J-Luke, you can see, I've never seen anyone push hards so well on Singapore, because people in the Mike is 4th, Hobbsy is 5th, Jelly 4-second gap after taking ages. Chim wants to get past the alpha of Greg's 14, I don't think he'll get it done as the AI breaks in front of Chimp. I don't know if it cost damage. I think it might have done
damage
to his left end plate. And don't ever go behind an AI into a corner, ever. It's just gonna happen. as Chris Panda leaks on
Oh, it's
to about
Jacko.
18. Yeah,
Jacko's gone.
Yeah, it's in the tunnel section, Hedge, and yeah, look at the gaps on the track now. So you have Hobbsy, Jake, and then a 7-second gap to any car behind. And J Luke is pushing early. Oh, Chris Panda had an accident. Sorry, I think that you were just about to say had an accident out of a turn 3 wall. And I don't think he got damage from it.
No damage,
But
no.
J Luke now leads, and he's under pressure from a racing point of it's Chris Panda, but he holds his position. Kez, we know Chris Panda's job. Don't get overtaken by the cars behind. Stay within 8 seconds.
Yeah, you're right, Limmy, and the top 5 have got a really, really good lead from the rest of the pack. Jelly's going to make that a 6, you feel, pretty soon. And everybody from Chimp downwards is in trouble. They are nowhere near the pack.
Oh, Jay Wills and Mills getting so close, and now that's compromised to allow Luke on the mug to try and have a go at Mills on hard tyres as he goes on the inside of 9 now, and gets the move done. Does Luke, and Mills has lost 2 positions because he had a bit of a wheel-to-wheel scrap with Jay Wills as Jacob brakes so late and nearly smashes into the Renault as well. It's all kicking off apart from Chimp's gap, which is magnanimous. To Jellies, but he has got past Jay Wills. It's a
yellow flag, big collision. Oh, there is. It's is it Jacob? It's Jacob. Went into the wall. Serious damage to both of his wings. I did think he hit in somebody. Did he hit AEK? He might have done. There's damage to the Haas driver, so potentially. But you're right about the gap with me. Chimp has got P7, but has got damage. So the drivers behind him are kind of stuck behind him at the moment. Which means that top 6 have a great lead. As you mentioned, Lee, I'm not going to try and repeat the word you said. Was it magnanimous? Something like that? What a word. And there's Jacob again, I believe. And his race is falling apart. And there we go. It's a retire from Jacob. Whereabouts is he on track?
Well.
That could be trouble.
Approaching. Could be a VSC. I don't think so. It's a little bit too late. Probably should be. But the game knows we can only have one event more. Yeah. And I'm sure it has a percentage probability of what a safety car VSC entails. Also, Chris Panda's gap 0.8. Chris Panda's doing everything right. However, he does have Arav and Mike and Hobbsy, which are all chasing him. Hard tyres, yes, are slower right now, but come the final 5 or so laps, Luke is also making some places as well. He's just got past Jay Wills, and now he's got Chimp for company very soon. And when the F1 fans say Singapore doesn't show some racing, tell them to stop talking.
Yeah, Chimp's got damage, like we said, Limmy, so he's going to get past him now. If you're not past Chimp, you're going to be in trouble. Because he's not going to the speed that he should be going. Not his fault, obviously, but when you've got damage, especially on a track like Singapore with so many sharp turns, you're going to struggle. And everybody above Chimp now, it's a 6-way battle for the win.
Go on board with Luke.
Yeah, I'm on board with Luke now, mate.
He's done something that no other driver has done, which shows he can race. If you look at his brakes now, there you go. So he's locking up his tyres. So Luke,
Chimp's locked into Chimp then.
Luke has ABS off, which is really interesting because that's the anti-braking system.
Yeah.
And if you have it on, you don't lock your tyres when you brake fully. If you have it off, it does, and that's nice and realistic from Luke. So he's racing with ABS off. No one else is doing that. And that's a good sign if someone can race with that. It's tricky to learn. And what it also means, guys, is you cannot brake at 100% power. It will lock up your tyres. So he's got about 80 to 90% of braking power. And that is a disadvantage, but it's good to see that some people are doing it.
Yeah, Chimp went into the pits. You knew what was going to happen eventually with the damage he had. Mills managed to gain a position on Chimp, and he's in P8 right on the tail of Luke. In my opinion, Limmy, the gap between Luke and Jelly is colossal, meaning we potentially have a 6-way battle for not just a P1, but for the podium positions. And Hobbsy now has another 3-second penalty, which is massive at this stage of the race.
We can keep the big words coming, and it's an astronomical gap.
What a battle! What a battle we've in store here. With 10 laps to go, 11 laps to go, to have the 6 of them in that position is outstanding, and we have an incredible end to this race. And don't forget, Hobbsy's got a lot of penalties, at least 9.
Yeah, so
seconds, not 9 penalties.
because they're all so close and they can't drive at their fullest potential, Jelly has caught up. He was about 7 seconds behind. He's now 1.5 and will be close to Hobbsy, as at the moment the mediums are quicker. J-Luke has got, I mean, I don't want to brag on about penalties, it's not how I like to do commentary, but he has got 8 seconds worth of penalties. We have to remember, well, I don't want to brag on about this person's got this person's got this too much, but that is ultimately important. We can't keep track of every single person, and I don't want to spend my time doing it, but the leader at the moment is not leading, he's actually 6. Which is crucial, as Arav has DLS on Chris Panda, might make his move down to turn 8 down Ripples Boulevard. It's going to be close. Arav cuts half a curve, Chris Panda gives him a room, and Arav now leads, but Mike is coming back at Chris Panda into turn 8. They go wheel to wheel, they touch as well, but Chris Panda defends Mike that time, as Hobbsy gets a free overtake on Mike as well in the Red Bull. Mike got caught napping there as AEK retires at turn number 1, and that might have been a collision with a Ferrari as he was close.
Yeah, AEK retires. I mean, no VSCR safety car, which is good. Like I said, we only got 1 of them remaining. I want to see, as commentators, you want to see it be a safety car, really, don't you? Let's be honest. I want to see some more drama. But you're right, a real battle going on at the front here, and J-Luke is leading. A chance to pull away, needs to pull away with his penalties.
What an overtake by Mills on Luke into turn 8, and Mills is 33 seconds behind the top 6,
best of the rest.
but it is a proper fight for top 7 between Mills and Luke. James 8.2 behind, and now Greg is out of a point, so Smithy getting the Ferrari boys a point as well, as Mills is starting mopping up his braking points for that bridge section. He's not going too far now, as Hobbsy only 4 attempts behind Chris Panda, and Chris Panda's feeling the pressure now, and those mediums are starting to tell. They will be fine, excuse me, as Hobbsy is now only 2 tenths behind Chris Panda, and we expect an overtake. As Chris, you can see his red lights, he's charging his battery, but he is on 100. Maybe he can mount a forced attack later. Let's see if Hobbsy gets into a P3 place. For now, he's got DRS and only got limited battery to do it, as Mills picks up a penalty. Hobbsy goes wheel to wheel with Chris Panda, and he's going to try and take half a curve to help him. Chris gives him a room, as Chris Panda is now in 4th place.
How many overtakes was seen on that corner tonight? It seems to be every lap, or every couple of laps, we've got an incredible overtake on that corner. Hobbsy's got the P3 at the moment, followed by Chris, and then the 2 Red Bulls hunting the pack behind. They are wanting a podium, and they'll push for it. Mills is the best of the rest at the moment. The P6, the top 6 have got a really good lead, and Mills in that P7 has got a comfortable one. I was going to mention Luke did come off the track. There was a yellow flag, and did get damaged. The left end plate of the Mercedes driver has gone. But with Mills' penalty that he just picked up literally within the last minute or so, that race is still open, that battle is still open. But like you say, Mills nowhere near the top 6. It's going to be a top 6 for these lot, bar anything silly.
So deja vu for Mills, keep up a decent pace and don't crash. To get your P7 tonight, we're on to lap 24 of 31. 8 laps of Singapore to go. It's been a very, very long one, as Chris Panda has entered the pits for some softs. And he can do that, Kez, because if he won't lose a position, he can get the fastest lap point, and he was probably going to get overtaken.
Yellow flag.
I think.
There's a yellow flag. Was it one of the? I think it might have been Smithy's Ferrari actually, Limmy, letting the front pack go past him. As Jelly and Mike.
To wheel down Whipple's Boulevard. Yes, there was, and it was Smithy's AI, which Jay wants to get
Smithy's,
past now. I think. Yeah, there you go. So Smithy's AI is at
and
the
Jelly
back,
and Mike are stuck behind them, Limmy. They're stuck behind the 2 of them. Which is not ideal. Jelly overtakes Smithy, as does Mike. He will let them pass, so there you go.
Jay Wills lets them pass, yeah. As that's the yellow flag for letting him through. Luke, 3-second penalty, so Luke and Mills are equal, and that gap is still increasing. Mills is doing a really good job, and so is Hobbsy. So the medium's lap 9, probably on about 20 25% now as Hobbsy moves left of Arav. This is an overtake for potentially to win the race, by the way, with some penalties later on, as Arav and Hobbsy still go wheel to wheel. I think Hobbsy's just got it down to turn 15, I think that is. I think it's 16 actually, and Hobbsy is now ahead of Arav, but look at the interval gap. J Luke's now 7 seconds ahead. The more these fight, the less one of them can win the race, and J Luke's laughing at the moment as Hobbsy has a tank slapper out of turn 21, and they're both fighting so hard, but now J Luke has the interval gap available to win this race, and Arav might come into turn 1, breaks super late, goes wide of 2 a little bit, but he gets the P2, and this is fantastic for J Luke, fantastic for us, but not fantastic for the two we're talking about.
Yeah, just a quick update towards the back end. Jay Wolves just come off the track and he's now down to P14, so a nightmare from the McLaren in Singapore. We have a race on our hands here as Mike Whitty picks up another penalty, and all these little penalties can make such a difference between a podium and not a podium. As Mike gets another penalty, maybe he's first, so I'm not too sure, and we will find that later. But what a battle we have at the front. And let's not forget Chris Panda on the fresh softs. He's making ground, and don't rule him out just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So leader gap for Chris Panda is 31 seconds. Well, actually, no, I don't think he'll catch that up at all. Depending on the penalties, it's very far. But, like the man said, we have a fantastic battle. It will be a fantastic battle if J Luke slows down. But these guys are now fighting for the P2, not the race to win at the moment. I think Chimp has just gone into the points, but with a penalty. We have a yellow flag in sector 1. Now a safety car here would ruin J Luke, Jake and Mike. Has Jake got a penalty? No, Hobbsy, sorry. J Luke, Hobbsy and Mike. It would absolutely ruin them. Jacko has left the session, Kez. Now was that on purpose or was it disconnection?
It could be another disconnection. He has got severe damage. Both his end plates are missing.
So Chimp and him did have an overtake. Was there damage during that?
Look at Chimp's damage. He's got severe damage as Chimp. The right end plate of him's gone as well. So quite a big collision. More than the right end plate actually. It's quite a severe damage to Chimp's Toro Rosso. So potentially an incident there that we didn't catch on stream. Chris Panda fastest lap as well.
What Arav did to him. Brake late, go for the corner, and they both go wheel to wheel, and Arav has to go wide, and now dives down to 8 into Hobbsy. It's a right little scrap between these two, but Hobbsy then gets the inside to 9, takes half the curve as they go wheel to wheel. You don't want to push each other into the wall.
Arav.
And it's a right to end plate for Arav. It's so tight to take cars through that section. You have every right to go wheel to wheel, but sometimes the guy on the outside, Kez, just has to step in every now and again. Yeah,
it looked like a penalty for Jelly. He did get it, a 3 second for Jelly.
Did it?
Who is right on the tail of Hobbsy and Arav. He went wide, Jelly, did cut the corner, and unfortunately for him gets a penalty. But what a battle we have here going into the last 5 or 6 laps. And don't worry about Mike, who comes from nowhere and gets the overtake on his teammate Jelly. Incredible, he came from nowhere, did Mike.
So Jake broke late. Late to not hit Hobbsy. He had to brake like fully kind of thing. And then he had to slow down because he went over a curb. If he went any faster, he would have got another penalty.
Yeah.
And Mike just slotted it in. Chris Panda now 14 behind them lot, and some of them have penalties. I don't know if Chris Panda has any penalties, but what I do know is that J Luke is now 12.5 seconds ahead. It's his race to lose now, even with the penalties. And we have some things that happened before, Kez, on the safety car, if you remember, some people hitting people because Greg took the start. And 3 or 4 people did get 5 seconds, which we can take off. Hobbsy's exit with down the Ripples Boulevard is pretty good. DRS, but he lacks on the battery. Will Hobbsy do what Arav did 2 laps ago and try again for the 3rd time? Down into turn 8. Oh, they both touch. As Arav's racing point he does really well to control it, and these two having a right little scrap in the middle, and I have a feeling, Kez, it might turn a bit more violent.
Yeah, it's going to turn over. It's been the story of the race, Hobbsy and Arav, and there was more damage as they go at it again. And there isn't Hobbsy, he's gone! Oh, he hasn't, he saved it, like he'd lost his back end. But he saved it, and my worry here is that Mike and Jelly and the Red Bulls are right behind the two of them, and if one of them two goes in front of them, they're going to have not enough time to react and stop. It could turn really messy for all of them. Very quickly. They're going ham, and there's damage. There is damage again. Hobbsy, I think, has got damage on me.
Yeah, they were going wheel to wheel through the tightest part on the track. Jay Wills has retired before the bridge section. No safety car, so we're not. I'm guessing we won't get one now till the end of the race. And oh, imagine if that would have been a safety car. Oh, anyway, I mean that would have been amazing.
Hobbsy now again, limit.
No one was near him. No, yeah, I'm on. No, yeah, I'm on board with it.
Hobbsy's got damage, I think. Has he got damage? He hasn't, actually. Arav has.
No, Arav has, yeah, right. And Mike, don't count Mike out. So these are actually fighting for positions now, Kez, because J. Lucas won the Grand Prix.
Oh, damage from Mike, and he's spun! He's gone!
He's Red Bull!
Into the back of Hobbsy!
His Red Bull is tank slapped after turn 3, and this brings Chris Panda in as well, who's got soft tyres. They're still pretty good to use. And Mike has had 2 moments in the Singapore race, one at bridge and one out of turn 3, just after the start. And he's spun his Red Bull, and Chris Panda, this should be a textbook overtake for him. Can't take over.
He's got a bit of a copying fit, and Mike goes for the overtake on Chris Panda and gets it back for now, a real battle. But Chris Panda does get the P5 in the end, and it's devastation for Mike in Singapore. He had an incredible opportunity for a podium, and it may have gone out the window. Jelly in P4, he's behind Greg, who is an AI driver, and is still somehow in the top 10. I'm not sure how, but he is. Obviously won't count in terms of points for Greg. AI drivers get no points. So at the moment, Chimp will get the 10th. Jelly does get the overtake in the end. But what a disappointment for Mike. Limmy, are you alive?
I am. I have been drinking throughout the race because we have been going for a very long time. I'm interested to know how long we've actually been going. We'll find out at the end. I have drunk a lot. I don't know why I started coughing. Chimp picked up a 3-second pen. Won't affect him. Smithy's 13 behind, but on board with Hobbsy and Arav. This is the fight. I'm not sure on penalties, I don't want to know either, but it is going to be an interesting end to the race. J. Luke did cross 20 seconds ago onto lap 29 of first one. I want to see racing, but so far these two are so tight, and none of them want to give up their place, and they're going to fight so hard in fact, that it might ruin both of them. I mean, 2 of them went wheel to wheel in what is basically castle section from Azerbaijan. You physically can't fit 2 cars through there. Will Hobbsy make a move down to turn 8?
Oh, he hit him.
Decides not to, but he's hit Arav, and Arav in the racing point is sideways, and that brings Jelly into P2.
Oh, Jelly's in the wall! Jelly's in the wall, got red wing! Oh my word! He's not retired, but he may as well have.
Mike's into P4 against
and Mike and Chris Panda have gone from nowhere.
I was going slow. 2 cars again for the tightest section, and Chris Panda is allowed through, and Chris Panda's on for another podium as long as he can get past Mike. I know these penalties. Yellow flag in sector 2. I don't know who it is, but that was a bit of a mess, and he did that in the practice race. He went into the wall, not the same wall. No, it was the same wall.
Well, Mike and Chris Panda, who looked like they were out of the top 3 reckoning, are somehow both in the top 3 reckoning. Jelly, Arav and Hobbsy, who were the closest 3 to J. Luke, have all gone. I mean, Hobbsy's still second, to be fair, but with penalties and a potential penalty incoming after hitting Arav, again, we'll have to watch it back. You don't want to comment too much on it now, but he could be in a bit of trouble, could Hobbsy. And Mike, who span, 2 laps ago, and looked like his race was over, he's now back in the podium position, and what a battle we have here. And Jelly with a red, I believe, is it a red wing? It is for Jelly. He's a mess, and he heads into the pits. And it looks like the leader of the whole season may not even get a top 10. In fact, he probably will get a top 10.
Here, because the pit lane in Singapore is, it's like Temple Run. It never ends.
Temple Run.
The gap is So where is Mills? So Joey's on his way out. He will have the soft tyre, so Mills would have needed to get past him. And Mills is coming round the final corner, and he's gonna be close. Jelly might have to get past Mills, and Jelly obviously pity Kez primarily for the fastest lap. As Mills goes past Jelly, you see Jelly is still going slow out the pits, and Mills is going round turn 3, and Mills with Jake's penalties is now in his famous P6.
The drama, absolutely incredible. This is what you love to see, and it always seems to be the last two or three laps that throw up the most drama.
Don't count my count for bottling it on lap 31.
Well,
either.
I mean,
I hope he doesn't.
You make a very valid point, and we know for a fact Hobbs got multiple penalties. Mike's got penalties as well. I mean, J-Luke, let's be honest, bar an absolute calamity, has won the Singapore Grand Prix. Let's pretty much box that off now. Unless he makes an error, his own error or misjudgment, he has won. But we have a real battle. Hobbs gets another penalty, and that is so costly for the McLaren driver. And I'm sure that Arav will also have something to say after that incident as well. So Hobbs could be in big trouble. We
take the race results, Kez. So obviously the race time is J-Luke's time. So 1 hour 4 minutes, blah. Then you have everyone's times after that.
Yeah.
You've got penalties to add on, penalties to take off, as we found out into it, and other races in other leagues and other races in this league, every 10th counts. J-Luke is making his way down towards the bridge section on the final lap of Singapore. The interval gaps are quite elongated, so we can relax a little bit until something shocks us, I'm sure. We've got about 45 seconds. Oh, he had a little bit of a spin.
Nearly.
He did Mr. Jamie.
Nearly.
And he had to brake and stop just to control himself. But he's done well. He's come from the back. He's controlled himself.
He's showboating a little bit.
Away.
He's showboating. He loves it.
I mean, Mills is behind Jake, but Jake's got penalties, and Mills, I'm guessing, because he's so good at not getting any, hasn't got any. Bear with me, Kez, as we go through the final section and sector of what has been a fantastic race. Interested to see how long it's been, but over that time, imagine if he's showboated into a wall. J-Luke comes around the final corner, he wins in Singapore, and also gets a 5-second penalty for unserving. Oh, what a man. As Kez, you can do the rest as Hobbsy comes through tunnel.
Well, Hobbsy comes through tunnel, we know for a fact he isn't going to finish second in terms of the standings, that is for sure. He will cross the line second, but he won't finish second. The McLaren driver is a really frustrating night, a constant battle with Arav. He does cross the line in P2, but I'm pretty certain as Mike gets a penalty on the last corner, which could be costly. And Chris Panda goes second. And Mike doesn't even get a podium. That penalty has cost him. Oh my word!
By 1/10 of a second. 0.134. However, I'm sure after what I've seen, he will get his podium.
That's like a Jelly and Mills.
Arav crosses the line in a P5 place for him as Jelly, Jesus, he takes out the bot of Jacko, and Jelly crosses the line. Mills 8.6 behind. That gap increased so much. We'll see what happens to Mills. P7 or P6. P7 by 3 seconds. And Luke, first race for him, Kez. Not bad after that.
Not a bad P8, mate. Not a bad
was it a driver pen? No.
He did get damage early on, when he was battling with Mills. But Pierre in his first race he'll be happy with. And James in the Haas doing his job. We haven't really focused on him too much tonight. Been out of the spotlight, but he's done his job. He doesn't, because Smithy and Greg are AI, so Funnyos Chimp gets the point.
Yeah.
So Chimp does get a point in Singapore. What a race.
Right, let's calm down, let's have a drink. So, what have we learned? Singapore's amazing. So last week we had Welsh, British, French. Now we have Welsh, British, English. Whatever you take your pick. And there's for champagne for J-Luke. Just a clear race win in the end. And we have Chris Panda in P2, and I'm sure we will have to take a look at the Hobbsy and Arav incident, and if that comes through, as I think it will, of course after some investigation, I think Mike will take a podium spot. Kez, He'll be much happier than that practice race, that's for sure.
Oh, what a great race, mate. I mean, regardless of Hobbsy's incident getting looked at, Mike getting a penalty on the last corner is so costly. I know you probably get P3 anyway, but to do that on the last corner, and if Hobbsy's incident with Arrow didn't happen, that would have cost him a podium. So it's all about, like, that just goes to show anything can happen until the last corner of a race. What a race in Singapore. Quick driver day vote. I think we need to do a driver day vote. J. Luke from 18th to 1st is absolutely outstanding. Starting last and winning. He's done a Jensen button limit, and I'm pretty sure he will win driver of the day. I'm not going to put a vote out, and that's no respect to any of the drivers, but you cannot, you can't not give J. Luke driver of the day. But well done to Chris Panda. That's 3 podiums in a row. He's doing his job and he's improving. I didn't get a chance to see the grid. It went off pretty quickly there, which is disappointing.
What do you want to know?
I just want to have a quick run through, but it's if you want to run through it for us, because it went off quite quickly.
So first of all, Chris Panda did get the fastest lap point with a actually quite remarkable 38.7 towards the end. So it was J. Luke, Chris Panda, Hobbsy, Mike Arrow is the top 5. Obviously Chris Panda and Hobbsy were only separated by 2.3 seconds and Mike 1/10. They're now of 20 seconds behind, another 13 for Jake. Mills was 3.3 behind Jake, 6 in P7. Luke on his debut with a P8, he'll be happy with that. Haas, more points for them, 2 in fact. And Chimp gets the point for Singapore. And Kez, just to let you know, we actually did not hit the hour mark. 59 minutes and 30 seconds.
Just. What a race in Singapore, and again, respect to all 18 drivers, whether you finish your race or you didn't, for turning up and making this league what it is. Next weekend we visit Canada, and also the Paul Ricard, the French Grand Prix, so that'll be interesting. And every time I do Canada or France in a league, in a friends league or in a career mode race, there's always a bit of dodgy weather in both of them circuits. So hopefully, for a commentator's aspect, we get a bit of rain. That's what we'd love to see, Limmy.
Absolutely, and we said in the qualifying we have 3 more weekends of racing to go, and I can't wait. And also, don't forget, 24 days to the new F1.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd mention that.
But let's not waste everyone's time. My outro for my stream is very simple. Tune in for Canada. It's going to be penalty galore, and down back straight in the final chicane. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, again, thank you all for tuning in and turning up for another successful and entertaining race. It never fails to amaze us, does F1? Whether you're racing in this league or any other league, there's always a bit of drama. We will see you in less than a week's time in Canada, and then in France. What should be another eventful weekend. It's been a great weekend this weekend. In both Monza and of course tonight in Singapore. Thank you, Limit. Thank you to all the drivers, and thank you of course for watching on stream and showing your support. We will catch you next Friday for the Canadian Grand Prix. Until then, stay safe, take care, and come on City versus Arsenal on Wednesday, up the Blues. See you later.